Evening, everyone. In the past couple of classes, we were talking about the HTML. As part of that, we understood how HTML is used to design the web pages. Is used to design the web pages. And as part of that, we completed what are the tags, what are the attributes, what are the tags and what are the attributes, and the tables concept we were discussing. We were discussing tables concept. Okay. That is HTML tables we are discussing. So here we were trying to understand how the table structure is created. How the table structure is created using the tags, predefined tags. See, this is a table tag. This is open end, then there will be a closing tag. There will be closing tag. Now inside this, all these table rows and table headings, table data will be there. Okay. You see this here, closing tag this is. If you look at this, look at this. This is table tag, this opening tag, and this is closing tag. This is closing tag. This you see, this is opening and this opening tag, and this is closing tag. Now in between this, how many rows are there? This is row 1, this is row 2, and this is row 3. Now see this. This is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3. Okay. Now inside the table rows, you can write table heading, and you can write the table data also. Now see this is table heading. This is table heading. H stands for the heading. So this is the first table heading. User columns. The contact is second. The second one. This is third one. Third one. The table heading table heading circuit has columns. Once one table cells, these are table cells, TD stands. This is a table cell. Email. This is a table cell. This is a table cell. It is this is written in H2 tab. It is H2 tab opening and closing. And this is written in paragraph 10. And the meaning is this is a broader, this is a broader table broader. These are the concepts in the tables. These were the concepts in the table. It's will see table row, the table rows, the table header, they continue to the th, the table head. So these are the tags which we use inside the table concept. This is a tag, which is a tag, where is a tag, it is a tag, it is a tag, caption and column group, columns. Uh, we have groups that header content in the table. It looks the body content in the table. The table body, table 4. It's a table body. Is to prove the body content in a HTML table. The body content can be grouped with the table body table. So these are the list of browser support. We got the list of browser support. So if you want, you can check with any browser. This tag particular tags can support within the browser or not. So as of now, this Chrome support and Edge supports, and the Firefox and the Safari. So these browsers are support this keyboard tag. So remaining browser remaining tags we have to check. So these are all the HTML content. All the HTML content. You want, you can add even audio, video, and audio, video track size. Yeah, add what this function does is add new text track to the audio video. We'll click on this. This will add that is. So these are the HTML concepts. Now come back to the CSS concepts. CSS. So what is the job of the CSS in this? HTML job, we understood that it is purpose is used to develop the web pages. Used to develop the web pages. And the CSS, its full name is Cascading Style Sheets. Cascading Style Sheets. So, CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on screen. CSS describes how the HTML elements are to be displayed on the screen. CSS saves a lot of work. It can control the layout, multiple web pages, all of it. So we have CSS controls the layout. Layout means here this is a design. So layout is nothing of this is one kind of layout. So it controls the layout of multiple web pages. So this is one web page, and like this, there were more web pages. So it controls layout of multiple web pages. Multiple web pages. So here we see the syntax how to write the CSS program. So here the rule is that the concept is selector. The concept is selector. Using the selector, the selector is a opening brace and closing brace. This is one block. Basically block. Within this is separate spell property, and this is separate spell value. So in between there is a colon, a separator, colon separator, and between this complete declaration and one more declaration, there is a separator called separator. There is declaration one, this is declaration two. So that was there are multiple declarations you can multiple declarations we can write. So this is a property and this is a value. So this property and this value are applied on this select. So where the selector is coming from is from HTML. Yes, an example. Here see, here see, this is a selector. On the selector, we are applying the color for the red and text element we are applying. So here there are multiple p tags. This is one p tag and this is one. So on both the p tags, it apply color red and text element symbol. This is yellow word, this is this one, and this is. So these both the tags intent is displayed according to the style applied from the CSS. So here the CSS style is written separately by using the style by using the style tag because the style and the HTML both are inside the same place HTML only. So this is the HTML. So as this inside the HTML only, the CSS style is there, and HTML tags are. So that's the reason they are able to directly apply on the tags content. Yeah, directly able to apply on the tags content directly. Just take down this program. Take the program. Wait. This is uh, this is one type of way that we can apply the design on the accelerator. Design on the accelerator. Now, come back to the selector separately. See here, this is one type of selector. This is one type of selector. Here, this is selector hashtag. This is ID selector. This is what ID selector. That means that ID can be applied on wherever you want to apply can apply. So when you apply the ID tag, a particular tag content will change according to the ID behavior. Example here, this paragraph is ID tag. So here the text element is center. So here this is p tag is that this is one. So the second p tag, there is no there is no ID here. We did not apply any ID selector. So here if you see the ID selector applied, the ID is equal to paragraph. So same name is actually. So we want to again check it again. Change. So can change one uppercase. Click on this. It is not able to apply. So here we applied text align center. We applied color is red, and that is on P tag. That is this one. So this content did not change any behavior of the this ID selector. So that is the reason the name has to be match. It must equal. So now you write P proof. Now you can run the program. Now see, look at this. The same ID you remove here and can apply second place. Now you click here, say this content is changed. So the side selector, whenever you want, you can, wherever you want, you can apply the set. That is ID selector. The next one is class selector. Next one is class selector. Now you can see here, so your dot is there. So dot is used for class. So this is the name, class name. This is the class name, author's name. This is the class name. So on the two tags, that is an H1, and there is an P tag. On both the tags, we are applying the selector, class selector, that is your center, and that is data. So here we have done change anything, change anything here. So this is the class selector. This is the class selector. Next, see the next type of selector is a grouping selector. Next type of selector is grouping selector. Grouping selector. So next step of selector is grouping selector. So here we group the multiple elements. Here we group the multiple elements. That is H1, H2, and P. Here this is H1, H2, and 5. Here H1 is this one, H2 is one, like that. So if you wanted to apply same design on multiple tags, same design on multiple tags, you can use the concept called grouping selector. Can use the concept called grouping selector. So this is grouping selector. So if you wanted to add one more tag, you can add here. Suppose I wanted to add H2. Let's say to write H2 tag. Uh, yeah, Same six students. Then close the tab. H2. See here and here, sorry, not H2, H3, H2 always there. H3 and H3. Now see here, right H3 here, right H3. Now see. So this is the grouping selectors applied when your design is safe and wanted to apply on multiple tags data. Wanted to apply multiple tags data, you can use this concept called grouping selector. The next one is the universal selector. Next one is universal selector. So we want to apply on all HTML elements. This selector can be used. And the symbol is the asterisk. The symbol is asterisk. So what does it do? This design can be applied on all tags of the body elements. So whatever the tags you have used on the inside the body, that can be. So this is universal. This is universal. So class selector is over, ID selector is over, universal selector, element selector. Division can be also used. Division can also be used. So comments we have used already. Here the comments are, you can write like this. HTML, the comments are different. And CSS, the comments are different. In HTML, we have used angle bracket. We have used angle bracket. But in CSS, we will use CSS, we will use this forward slash and asterisk. And asterisk again, forward slash. And this is CSS single line comment. This is single line. When you wanted to use multiple line, you can use like this. This is multiple line. So that is the CSS selectors. Now coming to CSS margins and pattern. Let's say background, CSS background. You can use the background attribute, background layer attribute. So the attribute can be applied on the complete body tag. So that's the reason it's called background color. So where you wanted to apply the background, you can apply using this attribute. That's called property. We have CSS, we call it as a property. Property name and property value. Property name and property value. And can use background image also. You can use background attachment. So the CSS also having the borders. If you want, you can use the borders like this. There are different types of borders are there. Types of borders are there. So this is a dotted border. The dotted border. This is a dashed border. Side border. Then double border. This is a groovy border. Then this is a ridge border. Then insect border. Says outside border. And this is within border. No border will also be there. Within border. So these are the types of borders. So these are the types of borders. So which one we wanted to use, we can use. We can use here. The dotted border defines the dotted border. The dash will define the dash border. Like this. We look at this program. Says like this. Next one is the border width. The border width can also be used. How much border width can be used? So border width, border style, and border width. Border style and border width. So you can use that example. In this example, these are the types of borders. These are the types of borders. Next one, border colors also there. Border style and border color. So it's a property is to set the color of the four borders. This border style and border color, border ring. So these are the CSS borders concept. So border sides, then border sides can use like this. Border sides. That the property name is border style. Property name is border style. And so there's so many things are there inside this. Can close whichever you want. Next one, CSS margins are there. CSS margins. Margin top, margin bottom, margin right, margin left. There are different margins, both sides. Example, if you see this is a margin. So margin top, margin bottom, margin right, left, right hand side. So this one margin collapse. So don't want to use the margin, can collapse it. The next important is CSS padding. This is more important. CSS. How much space is to be given inside the design? that is decided by padding, decided by the padding. This is as padding. It can specify the padding for each side of an element. The property is to generate space around an element's intent instead of any defined words. So with CSS, we have all control over the padding. There are properties for setting the paddings that is set at element. The top right, bottom, and left. Shorten property for setting all the padding is some validation. So there are multiple paddings. So there you have padding top, padding right, padding bottom, padding left. You have multiple paddings. Padding top, padding right, padding bottom, padding left. Next one is the padding box sizing. Padding box sizing. So here to discuss the padding with the padding in the element level. So how the width property specifies the width of elements content area. And the content area is the portion inch of the padding, border and margin of all elements. Element. The box size and property defines how the width and height of element are calculated. The box size and property can have these values. Next one, the box model. This is very important. CSS box model. The box model covers your see. The top one is called margin. And that is called border, padding, and content. This is the box model. So generally, most of the websites will follow this box model. Follow this box model. So the first box is margin, second box is border, third box is padding, and fourth box is content. Third box is content. So these are the box model concepts. The content area takes the text and images which are to be appear on that area. The padding creates an area around the content that the padding is transparent. The border that goes around the padding and the content. And the margin creates an area outside the border. The margin is transparent. The margin is transparent. Means transparent. The next one is CSS outline. CSS outline. Here the outline that draw the around the element, which is outside the borders, that make element stand out. This element are the black border and the green line in the width of the 5 pixels. The pixel size how much want to be given to the outline and be given as per the requirement. So this is the outline, short, and content. So that can have the multiple properties. That can be style, that can be color, that can be width, can be offset and outline. So there are multiple. So this is very important for the box model. And coming to the CSS text, so these are all relevant to the box model. We can apply these concepts on the box model. The text alignment, the transformation, spacing, the shadow. So this is a text formatting. So TSS text color will have the property called color property that is used to set the color of the text. So the default text color for a page is defined in the body selector. So again, the other concept we use is selectors. So the text color background and the background color. Background color, the property, the coloring for property. The division, here is a selector, div is selector. So next most important the CSS is lists are there. Even the table in the HTML, so there is a list concept is there. And here more is the z-index. Z-index properties. So any position that element with the greater stack order is always set on element with the lower stack order. So the z-index properties specify the stack order of positional elements. The stack order defines which element should be placed in front or in other elements. So an elements of position we can have other elements. An element can have a positive or negative stack order. That is an index. This is a image has a z index of -1. That is placed behind the text. Will be placed behind the text. Placed behind the text. Another z index example, position the element with a greater stack order is placed above an element with a stack order. Next one is a pseudo classes. The pseudo class always denoted by a single word followed by the pseudo class name. Pseudo class name. So here interactive pseudo classes apply style based on user interaction. So it is forward, focus, active, link, visiting. Structural pseudoclasses, which are the first chain, last chain, and in chain, then the language. That is LAH. Then the pseudoclasses used on the links also. Pseudoclasses used on the links also. That is which styles and visited link. That is link. If it is visited, that is visited from the over if link on mouse over and active, the styles are active. So these are pseudo classes. And the next important is drop downs. This is very important. The drop downs, multiple drop downs. So here they create a drop down box with some text that appears when the user mouse over uh, and division of it. If I click on, if I just keep the mouse over on the its content, it is displaying that it is having the drop down. It is having the drop down. So this is CSS drop down name. So if I click on, if I show the mouse cursor on that, it is showing the drop down. We can fix the particular area also. The drop down with the fixed area. It's called fixed area with conformities. Conformity state. So CSS drop down. And is look at the advanced concepts like background water images. Is an advanced concept. See here, water image. Multiple background. This is click on this. Some multiple background here. So these are the CSS advanced topics. Next, the background size is the background size. This is the resized background image with the pixels. This is the original side of the background. Okay, back to this. This is the original. This is resized. Next one is 2D transforms. So 2D transforms. This transform property applies ability of 3D transformation to an element. This property allows us to replace scale, more, and rescue elements. few elements. The CSS transform property can use the body to be transformations functions. Translate, rotate, scale X, scale Y, scale skew X, skew Y, skew and X. Then the translate functions, which moves an element to its current position to the parameters given by the inside system analysis. Uh, so if you look at those, these are translate. Okay. Next, rotate method is like please rotate method. So the rotate method. If you look at the animations here, the animation is gradually change from one style to another style. Can change as many changes, says properties you want many times. The animation name, the animation durations are very important. So when we specify CSS styles inside frame stores, the animation will gradually change from the current style to the new style at certain times. Now, to get an animation to work, we must bind the animation to a color. Sample points in my animation. For example, we have used the from and to the key value represents 0% and 1% complete. Swarms are image filters. The image filter can use blur, brightness, contrast, crop shadow, grayscale, rotate in warp, opacity, saturate, and noise. These are all multiple image filters. It's a blur function. This function applies a blur effect to a element. The larger value will create for more blur. If no value is specified, the zero is used, that is no effectiveness. The different blur effects to the image IMG element, image tag layer, image. So this is one image one and image two. These are the these are ID selectors, IMG1 and IMG2 ID selector that we have seen in earlier class. So here filter is one property and yeah, this is one more property. So your blur is 2 pixels, here blur is 6 pixels. Now see the difference here. Say so from the use of buttons, 5 buttons. You can see the different buttons here. Buttons here. So colors one, border, padding, border radius, box shadow, the text alignment. So these are the buttons here. If they look at this, so we can here, these are all buttons. These are all buttons. These are all buttons. So you can group the buttons by using or horizontally or can use vertical. Use vertical would be or use horizontal grouping. These are horizontal grouping. The buttons. And this is vertical grouping. This is vertical grouping. This next concept is pagination. This is very important. Pagination that can be segmented, that can be segmented according to the number of pages. That we can call it as a fragmentation. That's called fragmentation. So let's say pagination applied with the fragmentation. So how many pages to be displayed within one single web page? One single web page. When we applied with the pagination concept. For pagination. So the pagination typically is like it's in a knotted list. So each link represents an individual link. The previous and next controls will be the previous and next control. The pagination with an active class. Pagination with the active class. So these are about the CSS. And the next class we'll discuss about the JavaScript. And next we can link the PHP and MySQL. PHP and MySQL.